Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Ashtoncast, and today we are having a look at a mid lane matchup here, brought to us by Nemesis stream. This is Nemesis, twitch.tv/Nemesis. Definitely give him a shot. He is one of the, I would say, more technical and better streamers to watch, if you want to get good, because he usually doesn't really do a lot of Fiesta play. Obviously, he does get tilted, and there are quite a few people that do not like him. However, I personally am a big fan of his, and I think he plays absolutely gorgeously well. He's a good solo queue player, and he's currently playing on the Korean server, if you haven't noticed yet. And 2 milliseconds. He has 2 milliseconds of ping. I'm so envious. I am so incredibly envious of this human being. It is, you have no idea. I would, what I would give. All right, while streaming, by the way, like I'm so envious. All right, we are going to be moving into the lane here, and this is obviously, again, right, a noob's guide. So let us get started with a little bit of an overview of Syndra. So Syndra, she is all focused around balls, okay? So what exactly does that mean? She basically, all of her abilities have something to do with balls. Now her Q ability summons a sphere. We gotta, okay? It summons the sphere, and you will see him do that plenty of time here in the lane. Very good prediction on the Victor either. You will see him do this quite a bit, right? Whenever you see this little orb with a butterfly in it, that is him summoning one of these balls, and it is his main trading tool, main tool to deal damage to the Victor. Now, she has been reworked a little bit, but I will give you the TLDR. And the TLDR is her W is able to pick up a minion or a ball and throw them at a targeted destination. Optimally, you want to hit an enemy with it. And her E pushes away the balls, stunning everyone who gets hit by the balls and pushing everyone back who is hit by the shockwave that he emits. So he moves into the river 250-30, placing a ward, but then he sees there's something happening bot lane, so he is straight on his way to the bot lane. Is he going to be able to pick up a kill here? Definitely going to be able to pick up an assist. Summons one of his orbs, W, the orb, and the E is not going to secure the kill, unfortunately. We did walk down here, and we are planning on a dive, but the enemy team can see that coming from a mile away, and Victor is able to push in a wave in the mid lane, which means that we either have to teleport there or recall, as Victor decides to teleport into the bottom lane here. A little bit of an overstay on the blue team's side. Kai'Sa manages to trade 1-for-1 with... We gotta get out. Oh, you gotta get out, homie. Okay, stun. W slows Victor, and he is probably not going to get out, to be honest. Yeah, no, he's not. Oh, but Victor, no! Oh my god, dude. Victor must have had his Q on like 1 second cooldown. I mean, what? Hello? All right, we are back. We are back. All right, so picking up not a dark seal, actually. He is picking up a dark seal and a refillable potion and starting to build into Lost Chapter. And the problem is that this was not the most efficient fight for him. And you see something, this is a feature of the Korean server. You also see it in the Chinese server, usually even more so on the Chinese server, from what I understand. Obviously, I haven't played on either of those. Maybe at some point I can in the future. I really hope to, but right now wouldn't be worth it, as I'm not nearly skillful enough to for that to be worth it. But we are going to be picking up quite a bit of assists here. So far he has picked up 5 assists, 6 kill participation of 7 kills that have gone down. So very, very good kill participation. as he's trying to aid his jungler here again. And very aggressive game this, very fiestery. And he obviously barely lived, 105. And what are we checking for? Are we checking for a Herald? Wait, it's what is it? 5 minutes? No, there's no way. Herald doesn't spawn yet. All right, it is what it is. We are going to not be able to pick up Lost Chapter barely. Super unfortunate. Has to walk back into lane with 400 Gs. It is debatable whether or not he could have stayed, but Victor is really good at starting to push him in eventually. And generally, Victor absolutely loves to get early assists and kills, as those will contribute to his hex score. If you remember my previous episode on Victor, my noobs cast on Victor, go ahead and check that out. Maybe I'll link it in the description. If I don't remember, then just go to my channel and look for the noobs cast Victor. I go over his abilities there, but basically it gives him, for his passive, it gives him the ability to evolve one of his abilities early on. That was a lot of ability. And with that ability will ability the wave down very quickly and push in the Syndra constantly. And then the window for him to recall is going to close, and that means Victor has the ability, to deny him even more CS than he has lost already. Now he is at 40 CS at almost 7 minutes, which is absolutely atrocious. It's very, very bad. But you know, he has the assists and kills to kind of balance that out. Obviously, again, right, he has over 90% kill participation, which is absolutely amazing. And so he is going to be moving into the mid lane, picking up a little bit of farm here. Victor will come back to this in a second, and will probably not lose a whole lot, as Victor obviously got a really good recall. And the timing of the recalls is very important, something that you should note and something that you should be focusing and thinking about in those early levels quite a bit. Once you get like the basic macro, let's say, but once you get the basic macro down, like of, okay, recalling when, why, and so on and so forth, something that you want to focus on is recalling on waves that have a cannon minion. Cannon minion are the bulkier minions. They do more damage, give you more gold, but they also take more punishment from the tower, thus preserving more of your minions. They also take the highest focus of the tower, if there's no, you know, nothing else that has higher focus, but the highest focus of minions at least. They take super high focus of the tower, which means that usually there will be one melee minion in the front that will be moving into the turret first, that will die, and then the cannon minion takes all of the punishment, which is a pretty good situation to be in as the mid laner if the enemy pushes in, because that means you have even a chance, if you time your recall correctly, you have even a chance to pick up the cannon, and if not that, you at least get a reasonably big part of the wave. All right, he is not going to be able to move in there, as well as him not wanting to be moving in there. Obviously, makes the decision that this is not the optimal play, as Nautilus is going to be coming through here. Beautiful flash before the miasma hits. That miasma would stop him using as a mobility spell, so would not allow him to go in here. He has to be a little bit scared of a Nautilus Hex Flash over the wall, I think. And yeah, he is also correctly playing very, very far back here, obviously considering that is the possibility. Syndra is very good at clearing these waves out. So as you can see, he can just delete the wave and save himself a little bit. But this Victor is absolutely huge, and we'll see how he manages, or if he manages, to bounce back from this Victor. Again, Nemesis is very talented and very good solo queue player, so I'm sure that he will find a way, and so far he hasn't given up a lot of kills, and he hasn't generally given up a lot. Now, this is a little bit of a dicey situation, as Victor ult is going to hit way too late, and he is going to pick up at least one more CS. Is he going to pick up a second? No, he is not. And so he is going to recall now, as again, we have a cannon wave coming in. Oh, the Victor Luden's proc did stop his recall. Unfortunate situation there, as Kindred is definitely not going to pick up a kill on to the Victor, but she gives him a little bit of a window to push in the wave, which then will allow him, as Leona is going in on this Victor. Victor is going to die, going to go down to the ignite of Leona. Is it worth it to put a Victor kill on to Leona? I'm not 100% sure, even if, or especially if those kills are going to be traded with the enemy team. 5-1. That cannot be worth it. And there was not a whole lot that he could do. Hoping that Kai'Sa doesn't have her ultimate here. And, oh, yeah, it was Kai'Sa's on his team, right? That was a Viego. Hex Flash, yep, from the Nautilus coming out. Oh, the Q will hit him, actually, and manages to take down Nemesis as well. Very, very rough situation here. He's been holding on good so far with the absolute onslaught, but so far it just has not been working out. I personally always find it entertaining to watch the chat as well. I personally love reading chat while these games are happening, and you know, it's just I love it. 10 out of 10. But unfortunately, don't have a lot of chat to read on my own, because you know, whenever I stream I have like 3 viewers nowadays. Used to be a little bit more, but that was in Don't Starve Together times, and obviously those people do not care about League of Legends that much. But if you're interested in watching me play League of Legends, I stream every Friday, and I also try to add another day to stream to my schedule, but currently is a little bit busy with me looking for some better paid jobs and you know, some other options in life. So I'm focused on many other things. All right. Picks up a kill onto the Cassiopeia. Pretty good here. Nautilus most likely going to be going down as well. Yep. Nautilus goes down as well as we are starting the dragon. Pings for help of his jungler. His jungler a little bit late on the pickup there, but is going to be able to move in here as well. As Viego is ready and around. Now we have a shockwave that we can use to... Oh my god, that was not the most optimal smite here, as the turret is almost down, and that means Victor is an absolutely huge champion. He is so scary. Beautiful R here is going to knock Victor into his stun range, and the stun comes through and Victor goes down. Beautifully done here. Beautiful rotation also by the Gragas. Very good map awareness. I personally pog whenever I see this. Like, this is something that obviously in pro play this would be all much more, you know, cut closely and stuff, but for solo queue this is such a beautiful level of solo queue. Just your top laner sees, oh yeah, there's something happening here, let me walk down, give up some CS, pick up a kill which will give my team a shutdown, move back up to my wave and farm. Beautiful, yeah, beautiful execution, and we are sitting pretty, I would say. A little bit far behind in CS, obviously through no fault of his own. I mean, his decisions, but he did trade it, so he's doing a solid job. Victor actually not that far ahead in CS anymore. And item-wise, we are now finally picking up the Luden's Echo, which you remember Victor had 2 bases ago. So Victor is definitely very strong. However, it seems like Victor is going to be able to pick up a little bit more gold than what he had here. Oh, as Victor actually, he died again, which means that they are actually same in money, which is pretty good. Very, very fortunate. And that means that honestly Victor isn't that scary anymore. Generally Victor is a pretty scary champion, but if you can punish him, and Syndra can definitely do that, if you can hit a stun on him, immobilize him, and throw your ultimate onto him, he can be dealt with. He's not that scary, but obviously later on he will just run circles around your abilities with his movement speed and one-shot everyone who comes close to him. So I'm personally a really big fan of Victor. He is the champion that got me to Diamond, and he generally is an absolutely amazing champion. However, he's also how do I put this? He's also very vulnerable. Like, you need to be very, very aware of what abilities are on the enemy team. Plays a little bit like an AD carry. You want to preserve yourself at all costs. Something that Syndra doesn't really have. Syndra, later on, she is kind of ready to trade herself. Walk in. She has a little bit more defense versus assassins. And that is also what happened to me. Is like, I would just absolutely get demolished by people. It took me many months to go from Platinum 1 to Diamond. Just because I would get demolished by Fizz players. Like, every single Fizz player would kill me always. Every single Z player would kill me always. Every single Echo player, like especially Echo, would just destroy me. And obviously this is not a problem that people like Nemesis would suffer from, but me, with my meager Victor skills, I was definitely struggling with that. All right, we are going to be picking up another stun and another kill onto the Cassiopeia here as well. 3, 1, and 9. Very solid job here by Nemesis. Even though it looked really bad and his team was losing left, right, and center, they did manage to claw their way back into the game. And obviously he just stayed strong, he stayed composed, and again, right, his kill participation, now it is much worse, but especially in the beginning minutes, it was very, very good. Now here he is chasing down the Victor. He doesn't have ult himself, so I don't know if he would win that fight, but he must think he does, so it is what it is. The last time I've played versus Syndra and with Syndra was actually before she got her mini rework, so I'm not 100% sure what the power levels are right now, but I just know that she is definitely very strong. Like, that is definitely something that she is. She also has this little orb counter down here, which with her Q, which I find very, very cool, is you can summon your Q quickly right after each other, and you get charges, which is actually pretty sick. I'm a big fan of that, as Gragas is going to be defending the bot lane turret as well. So one thing that you will see a lot in these high reloads is that the mid laner moves to the side lanes and the AD carry and support move into the mid lane. That is second nature for these high reload players. It usually depends on one turret in the bottom lane falling, and then that transition will happen. It allows for much more control for the team, and obviously you never want a mid laner and an AD carry in the same lane. I mean, never say never, but like most of the games you don't want to. Now there is a game that I casted recently which is called Faker Doesn't Move or something, where Faker just stays around and in mid lane for a good amount of the time. That is because he's playing Zoe though, and Zoe specifically is a champion that wants to do this, so it's a little bit of a very specific example of Zoe just being Zoe and doing Zoe things. She's very ineffective if she can't stay around that, and so you always want to keep that in mind, right? Someone like Xerath, for example, is also incredibly good. We have a little bit of a trap that we're trying to spring here onto the Victor, but obviously, yeah, Victor is not going to fall for it. Who would have thunked? This is something that definitely works in Platinum though. Probably works in Diamond as well, but much less. But yeah, it's something that, I mean, yeah, it'll work in Challenger as well, but reliably it'll work Platinum and below 100%. You just hide in a bush, and people just kind of, they just look and they're like, okay, is someone here? No, I see the majority of the enemy team, so I'll be fine. And then you just catch them off guard, especially with someone like Syndra, where, you know, you summon your Q, then you push through with the E, WQ again, and then you ult, and there is just no way the enemy survives unless they have Zhonya's, which has not been acquired here. Instead, Banshee's Veil has been acquired, which is actually a pretty good pickup versus the Gragas. Also, obviously getting magic resistance itself is very good. Syndra is a champion that you call a stat checker. So basically what she does, Olaf is also one of these. What she does is she walks on top of you, presses R, or does her combo, and she asks, do you have enough HP? In Elden Ring, you call that vigor check. And it's just the question of, do you have enough so I can one-shot you? If yes, then my game becomes much harder. If no, then I become incredibly strong and you just can't do anything. So this is an ace picked up onto the enemy team. Solid job here, beautifully played by Nemesis as well as his AD carry. And obviously everyone did a really good job, but his AD carry and his top laner I looked at, and they played well as Nemesis, kind of just keeping his distance, and the enemy team being wildly out of position. All right, so Herald moves into mid lane. I don't know, it's going to go down. It's congratulations, Merry Christmas, who cares? Medjay is going to be picked up here by Nemesis. Korean Challenger picks up Medjay. Okay, I respect it. Obviously not a whole lot of threats on the enemy team, but I mean, you know, I just yeah, always scared of picking up something like the Medjay. But yeah, moves into the side lane here, and he is going to be trying to be pushing this wave. Does really good damage now to the wave. Something that I've noticed, they must have increased the Q ratio, I think. As oh, I was not expecting that. I was expecting him to pick up a Zionia here, a stopwatch. I think that would have been a really good play, is just pick up the stopwatch here, so you can be a little bit safer in team fights. As I would expect Dragon to be coming up pretty soon. That would be usually why this rotation happens. Cassiopeia is going down. Not there's just a fight for no reason, I guess. As yeah, people are going to beat on the Leona. Leona goes down, Cassiopeia went down as well, so it's an even trade, I think. I'm not 100% sure if anyone else went down though. I think, oh yeah, Gragas. My bad, I didn't realize. Yeah, Gragas went down as well. Viego? No pickup onto Viego. Obviously Viego is decent at dealing with Syndra, but still a scary situation, as his AD carry is going to be moving into the top lane, finally picking up the turret over there. And to be honest, yeah, I don't know about the dragon, but to be honest, I'm kind of expecting a pretty big team fight here. And so his ultimate is coming back in 19 seconds. Whenever there is an objective coming up, always try to push mid lane. Pushing the side lanes is also good, but mid lane is like the #1 thing. As there's the stun, beautiful stun, and ultimate here by Victor is going to push this Syndra out. And there is not much ability to fight back here, honestly. And I think that stun by Jax just kind of finished this team fight. As Syndra is going to be teleporting back in, but she is clearly on a ward, so we will see what exactly ends up happening. Beautiful stun here by the Syndra, and that is a kill onto the Victor picked up. He got stat checked as hell. That was easily like 300 damage overkill minimum. So you know, it wasn't even close. Beautiful stun here by Nemesis. He's absolutely incredibly strong, by the way. 20 kills, well, 20 stacks on the Medjay with 6, 1, and 13. Absolute unit of a champion. And obviously, if you can hit that point as Syndra, you are just incredibly strong. He also already has a Void Staff, something that you will see quite a bit in nowadays meta, is that people pick up Void Staff early as hell. And this comes to a little bit of an interesting thing or a trivia that I can share with you. And that is that actually, damage-wise, most of the time, picking up Void Staff gives you more damage than Rabadons, unless you already have Void Staff, obviously, right? But picking up Void Staff, usually, even picking up Void Staff second, usually, if there's a tank in the game, gives you more damage than Rabadons. So, maybe something that you want to consider. Obviously, it also helps you, and let's say, like this Victor has Banshee's Veil. Banshee's Veil does give a lot of MR. So, if we pick up a Void Staff early on, we will do incredible amounts of damage here. If he didn't pick up MR, if there's no MR on the enemy team, Shadow Flame is also a really good pickup, especially if the enemy team has a lot of shields. Victor obviously does use shields himself, so bonus damage is definitely possible here. All right. The Force of Nature comes through again. Force of Nature, I believe, is the E. And yeah, we are going to take down the enemy team. Beautifully done here by Nemesis. And make sure to check out his stream over at twitch.tv/Nemesis. And I will see you guys on the next one. Stay awesome.